Good afternoon. This is fantastic. What an amazing crowd. We are so happy that you're here with us today for this joyous celebration. So welcome our friends, partners, birth families, and chosen families. Thank you for joining us this wonderful Bloomington spring afternoon to celebrate some of the most important people in your lives, the individuals of the Eskenazi School graduating class of 2025. I'm Peg Feynman, the founding dean of the Eskenazi School, and I'd like to start today by thanking everyone in the room, everyone, who has individually and collectively supported our graduating class. Students, can we please give your families, friends, and supporters a round of applause? In giving thanks, we wish to acknowledge and honor the indigenous communities native to this region and recognize that Indiana University Bloomington is built upon indigenous homelands and resources. We recognize the Miami, Delaware, Potawatomi, and Shawnee people of past, present, and future caretakers of this land. At this time of year, with all of you heading off into the world, your professors, staff, and school leadership like to provide nuggets of wisdom and optimistic wishes for your future. It is easy to find hope and optimism in times of certainty, consistency, and stability. In such times, we have a good sense of where we are heading, and we're pretty sure we can get there with enough hard work. In such times, there is a sense of control over one's destiny. At least, that's how I tend to think. I've been called an eternal optimist, but even I have to question what that really means in today's context when each day meets us with new challenges and uncertain paths. Unfortunately, this sense of uncertainty is not new to you, our graduating class. Your lives have been filled with the word unprecedented. We now are to the point where this word has been said so much that it has lost its meaning and its intensity. And we need to recognize that uncertainty in each of your day-to-day lives is different. Each of you experiences the world as unique. Some of you encounter greater targeting, anxiety, and challenges because of who you are, who you love, your background, what you believe or support, or where you are from. These unique challenges, together with all that is going on in our state, nation, and world, can make it difficult to find our footing, to find hope in the future. But I would argue that hope and optimism can be indeed found in such times of uncertainty and instability. I find hope by moving from the macro to the micro, from the big, overwhelming, and incomprehensible world that we live in today, to the day-to-day, the interactions, the experiences, and the observations. And I find hope in all of you. Our Eskenazi School faculty, staff, undergraduate, and graduate students. And there are countless examples from just the last several months. From the selfless, dedicated, and hard work of our student ambassadors who are graduating today, they help us share the excitement of our school with our future students and their families. To the MFA and BFA studio graduating cohorts who mounted thought-provoking gallery exhibitions with the help of our dedicated gallery staff. The MFA thesis presentations that I observed were courageous, insightful, and inspiring. These students channeled the mastery they have gained in their medium of choice toward expressing their ideas with authenticity and honesty. To the many officers of the Retail Studies Organization who organize professional development opportunities for our merchandising and fashion design students and students across the campus, including panels, speakers, and events. And there was such creativity, innovation, and diversity on full display at our recent Bachelor of Arts Fashion Design fashion show just a few weeks ago. And to our faculty, who create an environment where students feel safe to explore and to experiment and to evolve, such as, just a few examples, senior lecturer Lucas Brown and his architecture students in the Design Build Studio, who engaged with Columbus residents to identify the city's needs before designing, fabricating, and installing a new bus shelter for the city of Columbus, which is a prototype for many more to come. To Associate Professor Malcolm Smith and Grunwald Gallery Linda Tien, together with IU Collections, who encouraged our MFA students to create new artwork inspired by exploring IU's many collections. The resulting show at the McCullough School demonstrated the synergy possible when undertaking creative research in a resource-rich environment of a large Research One institution. And then there was Assistant Professor Spencer Steenblick and his students, who produced a conference which convened innovators, practitioners, and theorists around radical sustainability in building materials, an extremely important topic in today's world. Or consider Assistant Professor Oavo and her students, who collaborated in a design charrette to reimagine a clinic for neurodiverse youth in Kenya, as commissioned by a client from the IU School of Medicine. Or, in the design of systems, Associate Professor Kenan Smith's students spent the semester prototyping and play testing board games to learn how to design with unexpected interactions and outcomes in mind. And our students have earned many other distinctions as well, including 6 Eskenazi students who received honors for their groundbreaking case studies for this Fashion Scholarship Fund, including 2 Virgil Abloh postmodern scholars. This is recognition for their ideas at the intersection between fashion and technology. And these students were introduced to a robust professional network on their recent trip to New York. And congratulations as well to our 4 2025 National Society of Arts and Letters winners, those whose work across media were recognized and selected to represent the future of visual arts in Indiana and the nation. There are so many more examples I could mention. I have also witnessed not just the achievements and the accomplishments, but also the kindnesses and the care. Our Director of Community and Student Success, Tianrei Ma, developed a series of programming focused on care, from finals fuel to Friendsgiving, to Canvas of Care, to celebrating Graduate Student Appreciation Week, to Staff Appreciation Day. And there's our guest artist coordinator, Spencer Schaefer, who made extra efforts to make sure our visiting artists feel at home, including spending days of his weekend to help them move in and out of university housing. This is for our international guests. And then last fall, our community came together for the Hoosiers Outrun Cancer fundraiser, supporting several of us who have been impacted by cancer. And we also gathered to celebrate our architecture programs, initial accreditation, and to participate in town halls and community check-ins. And every day I witness our staff support and care for our faculty and students who could not do what they do, could not do their work without that dedication and commitment. We also think about the inspiring lives that have touched us in impactful ways along our journey, but are no longer with us. I'm sure everyone in the auditorium has experienced the loss of someone you wish were here today. For our community, that includes our dear colleague, Associate Professor Margaret Dolinsky, who recently passed away far too early in her life. As you depart from the Eskenazi School and Bloomington, please remember that this will always be home. It's a place where you learned about yourself, you gave to others, and you became a part of a community. All of those memories go with you and will fortify you in difficult days and will increase your joy in happy days. Remember that the faculty and staff of the Eskenazi School are here for you and look forward to accompanying you on your journey. Go forth and shape the future of creativity with the hope and confidence that your time here has instilled in you. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our next speakers, who are honor students that were chosen to represent their class following a proposal review and interview. Brian Flaherty and Margaret Tucson.
Thank you, Dean Feynman, for those inspiring words. Welcome, distinguished faculty, proud parents, honored guests, and most importantly, the unstoppable class of 2025. I'm Margaret.
And I'm Brian. For those of you who are curious, we did in fact just Google how to give a graduation speech about an hour ago, so bear with us, we're all just doing our best.
It feels like so long ago when I moved into Wright and I met my best friend Veronica. Then suddenly I'm in my last ceramics class and we're throwing bowls with our feet in the clay Olympics. I'm looking at you, Teresa. In elementary school, I was afraid to talk to people, and I kept to myself a lot. The one thing I was always interested in was art and music. I was in a choir with people ages 8 to 80, and they became a family for me. I was quiet at school, but choir was the one place where I felt like I could come out of my shell. When I got to college, I didn't have a lot of confidence in anything, and so I majored in interior design because people told me I would be good at it, and I also saw it as a good way to make money. But sophomore year, I went through a tough time, and it was right after I came out, and I was struggling with what that meant for me. My relationships with my family and my friends were also changing around this time, and I felt really lonely. The thing that kept me going through this was my bike rides around Bloomington. On those, I would take photos of nature. I loved photography, and I always enjoyed the studios I had taken, especially ceramics. So I changed my major to studio art. I continued with photography, and when I studied abroad in Canterbury, England, I made a semester-long photography exhibition. Junior and senior year, I took more ceramics classes, and this is where I found friends that I became very close with. And I finally felt at home at school, and I felt right in what I was doing.
You know, when I first got to Eskenazi, I thought that the most eye-opening thing that I was gonna learn is how to thread a needle without poking myself and bleeding all over my satin. But y'all, spoiler alert, these pants do in fact have my blood, sweat, and tears quite literally in the seams. But what actually ended up hitting me the most was, as the way Margaret just described, art can bring people together for connection. It can be system shaking, and in our classes, our critiques, or even just in conversations with my peers, I've seen firsthand the ways that art can be used to break barriers and challenge systems that we've accepted as normal. But here's the thing. As I began exploring this concept of art bringing people together, I found myself asking, what does unity even look like? See, 3 years ago, I stood in the center of my high school's football field at our graduation ceremony, giving a speech to my peers. And in that speech, I urged my peers to look beyond our differences in order to find common ground and move forward as one. At the time, it felt like a hopeful and unifying message. But if I'm being honest with you, and honestly, I might as well be since polyester graduation gowns make us all humble, in the years since, I've really begun to question my own words. Because how can we look beyond our differences when they are exactly what the world refuses to let us forget? Our race or ethnicity, our gender or sexuality, our culture. These are the exact things that society uses to marginalize. Now, more than ever, they're being used to demonize and dehumanize. Asking others to simply look past their beliefs may sound inclusive, but I fear that it often reinforces this idea that our identities are barriers to unity, as opposed to integral parts of our humanity. Unity does not mean pretending we're all the same, like a group project where one person does the work, but y'all get the same grade. You know the ones. No, unity, the real kind, comes from doing the hard work of understanding one another. It comes from leaning into our differences, not away from them, from honoring the pieces that the world too often calls us to forget.
It took truly understanding myself and holding on to the little things that make me me that helped me find my community. Junior year, I started working at May's greenhouse because I loved plants and working outside. Here, I found community. I felt at home here the same way I felt at home in my family, in my choir, and in my studios. The people here taught me so many things: how to be patient, kind, hardworking, and most importantly, how to still have fun. My coworker Micah taught me something that will always stick with me. He taught me how important it is to lift other people up. Although we were all getting paid and we knew that hard work was expected of us, Micah would still brag about people's hard work. He had a way of lifting people up so that they felt the same pride that he felt for them. Sometimes it can take just one person who cares to turn a monotonous day into one that matters. And I can't forget our man made of dirt. One day on our table, we had dirt left over, and so I started arranging it into a person, and then everyone started adding on their own little details. And this silly piece of art brought us all together, and it gave us a lot of laughs. I found many fellow artists at Mays too. When Christmas time came, one of my coworkers handmade Christmas ornaments for each of us, and we hung them up in our workspace. This act of art brought us all closer together and made us each feel special. Around the same time, I was taking art history classes with Professor Barbaro and Professor Dominique Danes. They were opening my eyes to new kinds of art in Africa and the Middle East. I was seeing how art can be used for so much more. Art can be used to preserve memories, and art can be used for revolutionary change.
Art can be used for revolutionary change. As we step out into the world today, we have an opportunity to use the skills and lessons that we've learned here at Eskenazi to make that revolutionary change. As we leave this room, each of us carries the title of Hoosier. And if you've ever tried explaining to someone what a Hoosier is, you probably know how confusing that can be. I mean, the first time I was asked, I said it sounded like some kind of sandwich, and that was definitely not correct. The truth is, Hoosier has become shorthand for who we are as people, but it doesn't represent a single homogeneous experience. To be a Hoosier is to embrace a diverse and evolving identity, one shaped by each of us and by the intersections of our unique stories. A Hoosier is Abdul Kahar Bazad, an Afghan-born oil painter who fled the Taliban and now uses art to connect refugees and the state of Indiana. A Hoosier is Sylvia Thomas, a transgender poet based out of Indianapolis who brings trans stories into public conversations. A Hoosier is Nasreen Khan, a queer immigrant who grew up in West Africa and Indonesia, who uses art to fight for social justice and uplift underrepresented voices across our state. These individuals are not some exception to what a Hoosier is. They are the definition, and so are we. Each and every one of us graduating here today is a Hoosier. And as we begin to make our own paths, it's crucial that we do not simply aim to look past the things that make us unique. We must engage with each other's identities in ways that allow us to build meaningful connections. True unity, real community, comes when we start learning from each other's stories and experiences. It's through embracing that vast array of experiences around us that we can create a world where every individual feels valued and empowered. Only then can we begin to build a society that is truly united, not in spite of our differences, but because of them.
Brian and I are speaking here together today. Usually there's just one person up here, but when Brian and I applied to speak, Yael, Deb, Peg, and Lynn thought our stories were similar, and they wanted us to speak together. And it's true. We both majored in art, me in studio art, and Brian in fashion design. But after college, we're both doing something completely different. Brian is going to Poland, and I'm going to Indonesia, and we're both going to teach English in schools. Without Eskenazi, we never would have met. There's so many people out there that you have similarities with that you don't know yet. And how are we supposed to find each other? Maybe art is the answer. Art is our common language that will never die. Art will still continue after we're gone. It's the one overpowering force that can bring us all together, even after college, and when we're out in the world, all doing different things.
As we leave this room, the world might feel, as Dean Feynman said, uncertain. And if you're anything like me, you've probably called your mom like 5,000 times asking her what jobs you should be applying for, or crying because you learned that LinkedIn Easy Apply is actually not all that easy. But when the world is on fire, society turns to the creatives and to the artists to make sense of it. They turn to us for understanding, because we alone can look at a pile of ashes and see the outline of a future. We can sketch hope where others see ruin, or imagine possibilities when others retreat. Whether we're heading out into our fields of study or starting on entirely new paths, as Eskenazi graduates, as artists of today and of the future, we carry the ability to shape how people feel, how they connect, and ultimately, how they heal. In moments of division and despair, our skills become the answer to an aching world. When we see our leaders trying to build walls, we as artists can decide to build bridges. So go forward boldly, make what only you can make, and never forget, we are graduating today, but we are also igniting. Congratulations, class of 2025. Let's go set the world on fire in the best ways possible. I would now like to introduce our guest artist coordinator, Spencer Schaefer, who will be reading the names of our graduating students.
Graduates, you will be called by row. As your name is read, please cross the stage to receive congratulations from Dean Feynman and program directors, and then move on to receive your gift from our undergraduate academic advisors, Sharon Cherry, Elke Pessel, and Larissa Dennell, as well as graduate service coordinator, Sarah Wilkinson. Friends and family, please hold your applause until all names have been read. Lexa Hagler, merchandising. George Curtin, Masters of Architecture. James Blackstock, Masters of Architecture. Anthony Reese, Masters of Architecture. Jonathan Hill, Masters of Architecture. Will Zygert, Masters of Architecture. Samantha Nardine, Masters of Architecture. Jenna Hill, Interior Design. Maddie Toigo, Interior Design. Lauren Thompson, Interior Design. Ava Randall, Interior Design. Sydney Geis, Merchandising. Amelia Habig, Merchandising. Emma Robinson, Merchandising. Ella Wolfenbarger, Studio Art. Maya Avila, Merchandising. Caroline Sabin, Merchandising. Jada Baruki, Merchandising. Allison Hager, Interior Design. Caitlin DeVellis, Merchandising. Annalise Shabazz, Comprehensive Design. Lonnie McCarley, Fashion Design. Jenna Reed, Fashion Design. Sophia Rousseau, Fashion Design. Emma Taylor, Merchandising. Brooklyn Brown, Merchandising. Evelyn McAndrew, Merchandising. Grace Vogt, Merchandising. Kaya Abel, Merchandising. Carly Patterson, Merchandising. Emily Barkdale, Merchandising. Hannah Miller, Merchandising. Lauren Walsh, Merchandising. Madeline Yarrow, Merchandising. Tomas Fuentes, Fashion Design. Jose Emiliano Mata, Studio Art, BFA. Avery Miller, Studio Art, BFA. Emmanuel Upois, Studio Art. Mallory Robertson, Merchandising. Olivia Siebert, Merchandising. Joey Simpson, Merchandising. Jada Quillen, Merchandising. Mary Groover, Merchandising. Kyla Freilich, Fashion Design. Trevor Rush, Comprehensive Design. Robert Seifert, Comprehensive Design. Lucy Rosen, Interior Design. Jordy Cicero, Merchandising. Joseph Kensick, Merchandising. Lake Turner, Studio Art, BFA. Sadie Etherington, Merchandising. Elizabeth Hildebrand, Studio Art, BFA. Olivia Bianc, Merchandising. Sophia Wang, Merchandising. Megan O'Connell, Interior Design. Josephine Scanlon, Interior Design. Catherine Miller, Interior Design. Sydney Greenberg, Merchandising. Zoe Nuri, Comprehensive Design. Dimitri Hairston, Merchandising. Dylan Anderson, Comprehensive Design. Bridget Stiebelman, Merchandising. Lucy Petrofano, Fashion Design. Amanda Citrone, Fashion Design. Bella McComas, Fashion Design. Caroline Eads, Fashion Design. Jillian Lappin, Merchandising. Rachel Matson, Merchandising. Scarlett Small, Interior Design. Iman Ali, Merchandising. Isabella Cordell, Studio Art. Ashley Bell, Merchandising. Dana Gordon, Merchandising. Zoe Horn, Interior Design. Cameron Andre, Interior Design. Sarah Price, Interior Design. Ella Smith, Fashion Design. Grace Pendleton, Interior Design. Lauren Mitchell, Interior Design. Alexis Burkett, Interior Design. Abigail Tucker, Interior Design. Lulu Yang, Interior Design. Abigail Hovies, interior design. Madison Scully, merchandising. L. Kaiser, merchandising. Emma Harper, merchandising. Kendra Shadowin, merchandising. Madigan Flynn, merchandising. Anna Tracy, merchandising. Mia Bellardo, merchandising. Juliana Robinson, merchandising. Victoria Freitas, merchandising. Alexandra Weinstein, merchandising. Courtney Couch, merchandising. Kelly Baldwin, merchandising. Jessica Brown, fashion design. Katie Kinsella, fashion design. Ella Minnick, merchandising. Isabel Hawes, fashion design. Lydia Norton, studio art, BFA. Lauren Cornwell, merchandising. Rebecca Berg, merchandising. Kara Duckworth, studio art, BFA. Shani Howard, studio art. Abby Knobloch, studio art. Juliet Albert, studio art. Marina Gossick, merchandising. Allie Stafford, merchandising. Madeline Long, interior design. Anne Marie King, interior design. Lisa Clement, interior design. Haley Love, merchandising. Caroline Gleason, interior design. Natalie Sameh, interior design. May Skelfo, interior design. Olivia Grande, interior design. Ingrid Bader, interior design. Olivia Harter, merchandising. Mackenzie Bowman, interior design. Sophia Erickson, studio art, BFA. Eve Robertson, studio art, BFA. Christy Tui Wynn, comprehensive design. Graham Phillips, comprehensive design. Lily Perry, comprehensive design. Peyton Mosley, comprehensive design. Elaine Brosey, interior design. Ella Ingersoll, interior design. Taylor Blanton, interior design. Delilah Warren, comprehensive design. Jenna Springearth, comprehensive design. Jesse Lichtman, merchandising. Ryan Penson, merchandising. Jackson Schenker, merchandising. Molly Mattison, interior design. Elle Unfried, interior design. Anna Reppening, interior design. Yip Von Wonderen, interior design. Laura Emerson, interior design. Amora Lyons, interior design. Jacqueline Sweat, merchandising. Phoebe Bradley, studio art. Parker Haymond, merchandising. Aaliyah Tillman, studio art. Clover Childers, studio art. Sarah Blackwell, studio art, BFA. Alexa Cohn, merchandising. Gabby Mager, merchandising. Sarah Lustig, merchandising. Jordan Katz, merchandising. Abby Chikoy, merchandising. Cecilia Martin, merchandising. Beatrice Monhout, interior design. Sophia Salcedo, Interior Design. Kristen Klaus, Interior Design. Jamie Gill, Interior Design. David Corva, Merchandising. Lily Nutzt, Studio Art, BFA. Lauren Bailey, Studio Art, BFA. Ellie Wagler, Studio Art, BFA. Olivia Childress, Studio Art, BFA. Eve Swanson, Studio Art, BFA. Ellie Wojtek, Studio Art, BFA. Suzanne Schneider, Studio Art, BFA. Michael Adams, Studio Art. Samuel Bang, Studio Art. Zoe Zavanik, Merchandising. Miranda Hurl, Fashion Design. Kaya Tabit Bias, Merchandising. Lexi Yeager, Merchandising. Junhao Ho, Interior Design. Mary Catherine Payne, Merchandising. Olivia Wright, Studio Art. Megan Fisher, Interior Design. Kyla Purdue, Interior Design. Cameron Potter, Interior Design. Jessica Breitweiser, Interior Design. Olivia Park, Interior Design. Elizabeth Leka, Interior Design. Riley Konga, Interior Design. Megan Olgies, Studio Art. Mariah Kale, Studio Art, BFA. Diana Bonilla, Studio Art, BFA. Eduardo Rodriguez Jame, Studio Art, BFA. Brady Fanning, Masters of Fine Arts. Ledo Navarrete, Painting, MFA. Mel Winston, Studio Art, MFA. Lenny Weingand, Studio Art, MFA. Ben Cook Akewa, Studio Art, MFA. Avia Craver, Studio Art, MFA. Francisco Ormasa, Studio Art, MFA. Megan Smith, Studio Art, MFA. Claire Kreenitz, Studio Art, MFA. Drew Yurkovich, Studio Art, MFA. Luke Carlson, Masters of Fine Arts, Painting. I'm good. Faith Bellflower, Studio Art, MFA. Dustin Wynn, Studio Arts, MFA. Tatum Mullins, Fashion Design. Lindsay Huntzinger, Fashion Design. Anna Woodhouse, Fashion Design. Christiana Katagianis, Fashion Design. Kenzie Key, Fashion Design. Kenzie Mills, Fashion Design. Rosalind Parr, Merchandising. Zong Sung, Fashion Design. Neil Duam, Fashion Design. Sue Lee, Fashion Design. Winnie Lee, Interior Design. Chloe Clausen, Merchandising. Vasvi Kanoria, Merchandising. Nina Roeder, Studio Art. Elizabeth Means, Studio Art. Ellery Dozal, Merchandising. Ava Schnur, Merchandising. Chloe Post, Merchandising. Levi Crocourt, Studio Art. Riley Johnson, merchandising. Michaela Eason, merchandising. Lauren Burke, merchandising. Isabella Hewitt, merchandising. Olivia Forkin, merchandising. Nessia Weinswag, merchandising. Abby Wolkind, merchandising. Lou Harper, Studio Art, BFA. Abby Nicewander, Studio Art, BFA. Jessica Mills, Studio Art, BFA. Lily Fraser, Studio Art. Lane Grady, Studio Art, BFA. Damian Pollard, Studio Art, BFA. Sanya Trehan, merchandising. Kushi Tucker, merchandising. Rebecca Pasternak, merchandising. Ariel Goldstein, merchandising. Ava Swirsky, merchandising. Madeline Chalmers, merchandising. MK Farno, Studio Art. Brian Flaherty, Fashion Design. Margaret Tucson, Studio Art. Please join me in congratulating all these students. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Congratulations. Let you get settled in. Congratulations to each of you on reaching this exciting milestone. Today is a special day as you transition from being students to proud alumni of Indiana University and the Eskenazi School. Welcome to a vast family. This says 790,000, but actually I heard yesterday the president said we have actually over 800,000 alumni now in the world. Amazing. All sharing the distinctive Indiana University experience. Just imagine the power of this alumni network. So many people, individuals, standing ready to support you across the globe. They're connected by their love of IU, and they're working in many diverse industries in the fields of art, architecture, design, and merchandising. As you embark on your journey beyond these walls, we are eager to celebrate your successes and would greatly appreciate your sharing your career outcomes with us. Please let us know what you're up to. It's a great joy of all of us, your faculty especially, to know how you're doing, where you are, and all the things that you're up to in the world. Your feedback will not only guide us on enhancing our program, so it's great to know what you're doing and how you're doing for that enhancement of our programs. That will help future students, but also inspire your fellow graduates. Even if you're unsure about your next steps, we invite you to participate in scanning the QR code on the back of your program and filling out the survey. Once you've completed it, don't forget to stop by the tent outside. That giant white tent outside has some goodies in it for you, so please stop by there and get a special gift. Remember, you are not alone as you venture into the world. We stand firmly behind you, providing you support every step of the way. By filling out the survey, you will also be connected to the Alumni Association and that amazing directory of 800,000 alumni and communications that will help you along your journey as well. You have also, I want to remind you that you have full access to all the resources and services of the Walter Center for Career Achievement until 2028. So there's a lot of support out there for you as you make this very important transition in your lives. And we encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities to thrive in your post-graduation journey. So congratulations once again, and may your future be filled with the endless possibilities and successes. Have a wonderful afternoon.